In this video we're going to have a look at how to name ethers, and ethers are a class of compound that contain the ether functional group, and that's simply an oxygen in the middle of a carbon chain. So to name these ethers there's two bits we need to remember. The end of the first part of the name will be oxy and the end of the second part of the name will be ane, and the key bit to remember here is that we always are naming the smaller side of my ether first of all. For reference, here's our stem names, which tells me how many carbons are in each part of my ester. So let's see if we can identify how to name some examples. First of all, there's my ether functional group. I've got an oxygen in the middle of a carbon chain. So what we need to do is count the number of carbons on each side. In this case, I've got one on the left side, one on the right side. So both parts of my name are going to use the stem name of meth. So we start off with methoxy and we end with methane. In this case, because there's only one carbon on each side, there's no smaller side, so it doesn't matter which way around I put it, it's going to be methoxy, methane, either way. Second example, now we've got a different number of carbons on each side, so I've got one carbon on the left, that's going to relate to the stem name of meth. And on the right, I've got two carbons, so that is going to relate to the stem name of eth. Now I want to name my small bit first, which is the one carbon, so I'm going to start with methoxy even. Second part of my name is the longer bit, which has two carbons, so that is going to be ethane. So we've got methoxy ethane there. Third example. Here we go, actually, looks like pretty similar, it's just flipped around of that previous example. Got two carbons on the left, one on the right. The smaller bit is the one carbon, so I'm going to start with methoxy, and there's two carbons in my longer bit, so the name is going to end with ethane. So it's actually identical to the second example, it's just drawn the other way around, but because we always name the short bit first, they have exactly the same name because they are actually exactly the same compound. Fourth example, slightly longer one here where I've got two carbons on the left side, that's the smaller bit, three carbons on the right side, that's the longer bit. So there's my two carbons, there's my three. So what's the name going to be? It's going to be ethoxy propane. Nice and easy. Final example then. Oh, we've got a skeletal formula here, so we need to count our carbons really carefully. And if you've seen these types of formulas before, each vertex of the line, each kind of point on the line represents a carbon. So on the left side I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. On the right side I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. So let's just identify the two stem bits of my name. The shortest one is 5, so it's going to be pentoxy hexane. And that's pretty much it for ethers. There is another system of naming ethers, but this is probably the preferred method. Hopefully this video is of some help.